Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Last Samurai Standing, a Japanese action television series from 2025 that stars Junichi Okada. It's 6 episodes long, with each episode ranging between 47 and 58 minutes each. I'm a fan of Okada's action movies from the past 15 or so years, so I was very keen on checking out Last Samurai Standing. So let's do it. Set in the year 1878, 292 samurai gather for a battle royal, lured by a 100,000 yen prize. Wooden tags are given to them, and the last survivor reaching Tokyo wins. Shujiro Saga, played by Junichi Okada, participates to save his sick family. A dangerous game of survival unfolds on his journey as he fights off opponents, teams up with potential allies, and attempts to solve the mystery behind the mastermind who conceived this deadly game, as well as his or her intentions. So episode 1 gives us a little bit of context. A decade after the Boshin War, the new government's modernization policies reclassified the samurai as shizoku, stripping them of their privileges and employment. Meanwhile, people's lives were devastated by the widespread cholera outbreak. And this era of modernization is a major focus for many samurai-centric movies and television shows, simply because it's such a compelling situation. I mean, you have the samurai, who have always served a purpose, being faced with becoming an obsolete class, so their purpose is essentially gone, and they're trying to navigate what their life is supposed to be. Now, in regard to our main protagonist, his wife and kids are deathly ill, which gives him the motivation to take on this crazy challenge. And his situation gets really bad, so you can understand his, desperation. And as if that weren't bad enough, he seems to have, PTSD from some horrific battles from his past. So all of this creates just enough of a dramatic backdrop to supplement the action. Story-wise, there are some nice little surprises early on. A few unexpected moments here and there. They go through a rule system on how to win this contest, including the location of the checkpoints, what you need to pass the checkpoints along their travels on this path to Tokyo, as well as the time limit. So it feels a little bit like Battle Royale, actually, like the movie. But it's a fun setup. One of the big positives are the many side characters in this. I love colorful side characters, and this has them. A few of whom are very intriguing or very badass, including one guy who's probably not trustworthy, but he comes up with a decent strategy for surviving and figuring out who the mastermind is and their purpose. But you're not sure if you can trust him. There's a scary master swordsman who's stalking specific people. There's a lunatic former samurai who's targeting our main character specifically. And flashbacks are inserted at times to give some backstory on all of these characters. So this is good stuff. It's compelling enough in terms of, especially the conflicts are quite well developed. There are a few plot holes, I guess, if you want to dig into it, right? For example, can this, secret organization really monitor all of these participants while they're on the open road from one location to the next? You know, they have forces, military forces to help them out, but you could probably run away and hide or travel to escape if you really wanted to get away from this thing. Little things like that you'll notice, but you just have to roll with it. Also, this series does end on a cliffhanger. Episode 6 is a cliffhanger, okay, just so you know. Now, the cast is surprisingly deep in this. I watched this show knowing that Junichi Okada was in it. It's the only actor I knew that was in this. I had no idea that other recognizable actors would show up. So if you're a fan of modern Japanese cinema, I would suggest that you go into this blind, don't look up the cast list, and you'll be happy when you see some popular actors when they show up. I'm a huge fan of Okada, and I even feel like this is one of his better performances. He's perfectly cast as a badass who has a sense of humanity to him. He gets a few very good dramatic moments too. They give him a little bit of meat to work with in this. One of my favorites, he has a discussion with one of his former comrades, a lady comrade from his past. And it's a quiet dialogue scene but it's really, I liked it. It was good. There's like a lot of like depth to it, I thought. Nice to see that my boys continuing to get good roles. Also, there's a surprisingly high number of action scenes in this 6-episode series. The violence can get pretty bloody with dismemberments and decapitations and stuff. But again, it's more of an action show, so it's not too horrific or grotesque, but it does get pretty bloody. Okada is known for acting in nicely choreographed action set pieces, and Last Samurai Standing delivers. I'll give you a description of a handful of scenes. The opening scene of this series is like a brief set piece. It's presented like a single take. There were edits, you could tell, but that was pretty cool. There's a chase scene in a rainstorm through side streets with an antagonist stalking and attacking Okada intermittently. There's like a battle royal scene early on as well. There's a one versus many fight between Okada and men with rifles. One of my favorite set pieces is a chase through a forest involving some swordsmen who are trying to dodge arrows from archers as they're fleeing. The tea house brawl is fun. It incorporates some creative camera movement that we haven't seen yet in the show. There's an awesome one-on-one duel. Some great suspense scenes, too. There's a scene where, like, a terrifying man is stalking a woman in and around a house at nighttime. So, like, the sheer variety of, like, action and thrills in this is impressive. And they keep mixing it up. It doesn't get repetitive. So, all these scenes are executed well. And finally, Japan can do these samurai projects in their sleep at this point. So, production values are noticeably good. Nice natural environments. Forests being prominent. The nighttime festival scenes are really cool. And Wikipedia states that this series was similar to producing 3 feature-length films. I'm not sure about the details in that. I'm sure this had a pretty good budget to it. And they really got into the details with this as well. It's based off of... I should have looked at what it was based off of. There's a source material that this is based off, and they wanted to do it justice, I heard. So yeah, I strongly recommend this. This is a pretty cool show. And I've heard they're doing a follow-up season 2, hopefully. It's currently available streaming on Netflix. And as always, we'll see you next time.